This lesson will teach you how to read guitar tablature. Guitar tablature is easier to read than standard musical notation, and by the end of this lesson, you'll already know how to read it. In tablature, the lines represent the strings on the guitar, and the numbers tell you which fret to put your finger on. So this lowest line represents the lowest sixth string on the guitar, and the highest line represents the highest first string, and they're numbered in between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This 5 here, being on the fourth line, means you should put your finger on the 5th fret of the 4th string. It doesn't tell you which finger, it tells you which fret. You're kind of left to decide which finger yourself. Since we see that there's another note coming up on the 7th fret, you'll probably want to put your index finger here on the 1st fret, and then that way when you get to the 7th fret here, you can use your ring finger. That'll be an easy way to play it. So this tells us to play the 5th fret on the 4th string, the 7th fret on the 4th string, 5th fret on the 3rd string, 7th fret on the 3rd string, 5th fret on the B string, the 2nd string, 8th fret with your pinky. I'd use my pinky here. Now for those of you thinking, oh, my pinky is weak, I don't want to use my pinky, just start using your pinky, it'll get stronger. So you're going to put your pinky here on the 8th fret, and then you go up to the 1st string, put your index finger on the 5th fret, your pinky on the 8th fret. Okay, now let's look at this second measure here. This measure is showing you to play some chords, and you know that because the numbers all line up one on top of the other. They all kind of stack up. And that means you should play them all at once as a chord. Now in this case, you've got a 5 on the 3rd string, and a 5 on the 2nd string, and a 5 on the 1st string. So I would play that by just laying your first finger across all 3 strings. And even if you're new, you should be able to do this, though what's coming up the rest of this section, I wouldn't expect you to be able to play any of the rest of it. But you could play this chord right here. It's pretty simple. Take your index finger, lay it across these strings. This next part indicates that you should leave your index finger on the 5th fret on these 2 strings here, the 3rd and the 2nd. But notice on the 1st string it's turned to an 8. So here you would put your pinky down on the 8th fret. Now, when you're new, your pinky is going to be pretty weak, but keep working your pinky, and eventually it will pay off, and you'll feel good about playing with your pinky, and then you'll have 4 fingers to work with instead of 3. A lot of people, just as an aside, try to avoid putting the strength into their pinky in the beginning, and they end up being kind of 3-fingered players, and it's not recommended. So go ahead and put some trouble into that now. It'll pay off. All right, back to tablature. So here it says to play again on the 5th fret on these 3 smallest strings. So you just take your pinky off, and here you add your pinky back. Now in this next section, we have some new symbols that I want to tell you about, and there's actually quite a few symbols in tab, but these are the most common, and most of the other ones you can get by without knowing for quite some time. Here we've got the 4th string, we've got fretting on the 5th fret and then on the 7th fret, and then this line between them means to do a thing called a hammer-on. And in a hammer-on, what you do is you pick on the 5th fret, and then you sort of hammer down your ring finger to produce the note on the 7th fret, but you don't pick it. It takes some strength. You won't be able to do this right away. If you're interested in learning how to read tab, you probably are new to guitar, we could assume, and you probably won't be able to do this now, but later you'll at least know what this means. Similarly, here we've got 7 and then 5, so the first note is being picked, and then it's this second note is not. That's what this tie indicates. So you do what's called a pull-off. You play on the 7th note, and then you pull kind of heavy with your ring finger to kind of sound the note on the 5th fret where your index finger is waiting. This indicates a bend, where you pluck the note and then bend the string up, and then you play on the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and then on the 5th fret on the 1st string. There you go. This tutorial is over, and it came in under 5 minutes, and now you know how to read tablature. Have fun.